Things that I can't say, but I can say this. I think Barack Obama has done a great job as a president. I don't think he can do it by himself. If you want real change, then Washington has to come together. Senators, representatives, both Democratic and Republican, and realize that they have a people that are suffering here, and that it's not about their petty squabbles, but that you got a people and an economy that needs to be repaired, and tell them to come and do the job and stop jiving. Stop jiving. Do the job and stop jiving, so that people can be repaired.
You have to learn that he's going to kill you, you got to kill him back. That's the only thing. And I tell you, a few years ago, I wouldn't have said it. 4 years ago, I would have even hoped. I would have even hoped that old Charlie would have woke up. I would have hoped that he would have woke up. I would have hoped that he let old Jim Crow down the deathbed. Jim Crow is a bad segregation system, see? And you fought. Too many of you died. Our parents have died. Our aunts and uncles have died in the streets. Gotten beat up. I got beat up along with him trying to stand up. Marching for nonviolence. Marching for nonviolence, the only thing nonviolence does is make you more violent. So here it is, you gotta stop marching, you gotta get a gun. Because the minute you stop marching and get a gun, then you're able to defend yourself. Huh? But if you never do it, you'll never defend yourself. He's running around here killing you. This white man is not playing with you. Huh? Because he's a devil. He's a devil. And I know that just like he's standing there, the others there in the building, they're taping him. They're taping him. And I tell you what I tell you of a truth. You better start defending yourself because the white police officer is not gonna do it. He wasn't created to defend you. He wasn't created to defend you. He's not on your side. He's not on your side. He's not here to defend you. He's here to kill and murder you. And he's been doing it. He's going to continue to do it. And that's the thing that you have to understand. Don't get scared. Don't be afraid. Huh? Because whether you're here or whether you're at home, he's still going to profile you. He's still going to profile you. How many of you got a chance to see the young man that they hung in Mississippi in 2010? May of 2010. They hung him from a tree. For no reason at all. And he was hanging around his white friend who had did it. You gotta wake up. This is not racism, this is plain common sense. This is plain common sense. This is why God told you not to intermingle. This is the reason why he told you not to do it. He didn't tell you not to do it because of you. He told you not to intermingle because of that devil. Because he ain't got no pride. You don't have any pride, you don't have any confident. You can't trust him. You can't trust him. That's your whole problem. You've been trusting him too long. You can't trust him. Huh? You study him, but don't you trust him. You had any sin. You study him, but don't trust him. When he tells you to send that money to feed the people, I want you to know that people still are not fed. He ain't doing no pocketing that money. When he's preaching from a church, it ain't nothing but a big business. To the white man, the church is the biggest business there is in the world. And that's why you see so many black preachers selling out, because they're trying to get the master plan of robbery through religion. Just like the white preacher is robbing you through religion, the black preacher is learning to do the same thing because he's from the house Negro. I told you about the house Negro. I told you what he does. The house Negro copy the master. He want to do everything that the master does. And he'll pay whatever type of money it gets for him to go to the master's program so that he can get the benefits of the master because he wants to be like him. He wants to be like him. Anytime somebody comes to you talking to you about nonviolence, you need to understand that he's there because he want to be just like that man. And that's the thing. So I tell you that you have to start standing up and you have to get up. And if you want freedom, you have something that you have to take because he's not going to give it to you. He's not going to give it to you. It's something that you have to take. And if he's for living in a country where you're going to have peace, if he's for living in a country where you're going to be general and be fair with everyone, then I'm for it. But if he's for getting a gun, then I'm for getting a gun. And if you had any sense, you would be for getting a gun. That's all I have for you.
Do you think we'll be able to pass meaningful legislation as long as corporations are allowed to pretty much give as much money as they want to?
No, I don't. Again, this is part of the slave system to keep the you poor. So to speak, when I say you, I mean every 60 or so million blacks out there and others that are with them in the minority race. To keep you poor. And if I can keep you poor, then I've kept you down. If I kept you down, I've kept you out of their business. I've kept you in your place, so to speak. And so what you have to do is, you have to make any place yours. And get together and stand. You can deadlock the vote. You can be a deciding factor in who gets in office. and who gets in the White House and who gets in the doghouse. And so I say he's had it. He hasn't done right with it. And the minute you get a black man that is doing right, then they say that he's a racist. They made our president negative. They say that he's with the Black Panther Party in a negative way. Black Panthers are people. Black nationalists are people. We're people. We work for freedom and justice, and we'll speak when no one else will speak. But since we have someone up there that is trying, I believe, in his heart, I believe he's trying to do the best he can. Of course, there are things that I would disagree with about his war efforts, the things that he's done in the war. I think a lot of those things ought to be questioned. I think there's high politics. But nonetheless, anytime you get someone who seems concerned and wants to do something, you have people to fight against him. And they're fighting against him not because he has inadequate thought or philosophy or that he's inadequate for the office. If you look, Bush Sr. was the biggest fool that you ever had in presidential office. He was an idiot and a farce. His father was even a bigger idiot and farce and a greedy man. They were nothing like Bill Clinton. I think Bill Clinton did a lot. And he himself is a white man. But I think he did a lot. But Barack Hussein Obama, Bill Clinton went to Yale, and Barack Hussein Obama went to Harvard. And as you know, he was the president of the Harvard Law Review Board. So you don't get in that place with politics where you have to have a brain and a head to get in. And not to mention, he's also coupled with a wife that is very familiar with the hypocrisy that goes on in this nation. So when they're coming against him because he's black, it's plain and simple. Because you're in a racist society, they're coming against him because he's black.
Do you feel like today's drug laws are meant to disenfranchise black people?
Of course. This devil put the drugs in the community.
And disarm them.
He puts the drug in the community. It is a way of disarming him. Of course, they disarmed him the minute the black man was born, he's disarmed. But for the purpose of this question, they put drugs in the community. They put drugs in it. No white man can ever deny this. Because the black do not have planes, we don't earn our own boats or anything like that to bring drugs in. And if you remember, just a couple of weeks ago, in Little Rock and Pine Bluff, there were police officers that were caught with drugs. If you remember.
I was down there in Helena, West Helena last week.
If you remember, they were caught with drugs, and these are the same people that have been putting it in the community. No one wants to open their mouths against it. No one wants to say anything about it.
Judges,
Yeah, everyone was connected to it.
Police officers.
Everyone was connected to it, and no one wants to say anything against it. So I say to you as a journalist, how can you control a drug problem when you're putting it in? No, it's just a cycle to make money the same way they did with alcohol. When people were bootlegging whiskey and moonshine, and they made laws about intoxication levels. All this about money. All of it's about money. Because if you're selling whiskey in a community or any kind of intoxicant, you know the people are going to get drunk. But it beefs up the penal system. So that's a fact.
Well, so far since the war on drugs started, we spent roughly a little over $1 trillion.
We're losing.
That money well spent.
We're losing. We're losing the war on drugs. We're losing the war on poverty. We're losing the war on legislation.
Do you think the war on poverty and drugs is one and the same?
Of course it's the same. Of course it's the same. Anytime a black man sells drugs and is incarcerated, why he can't even get a job. And they mean for him to go back and resell drugs. This is intended. It's on purpose. It's part of the machine that runs this corrupt nation. Part of the machine. I talk vocally because if I spend time in the Army and the Navy fighting for the rights of every man and boy and woman alive. We're going to fight for my rights. We're going to speak. We're going to have my say. I fought for the right to have my say, and I'm going to do it. It's the last thing I do. It's the last thing I do, and I'm not going to go around apologizing for it. And that's all. I will tell the oppressed people that Jesus Christ was to come back. Man, you call Jesus Christ, his name is Yehoshua, who, by the way, was Islam. All you have to do is check it. All you have to do is check that. Islam is the oldest religion in the world. And when they say being Christ-like means to follow the law the same way that Christ did, which they do a poor job of it in this country. A poor job of it. He has an appeal. He has an appeal. I think his appeal was to be honest and to be honest. And if you're not going to follow Christianity in this country, you're not going to follow it, then stop being a hypocrite. Stop being a hypocrite because you're misguiding people, and you don't mean Christianity. I don't think any of them mean it, because if they meant it, then they'd be doing exactly what they say. So I don't think the country trusts in God. I think they trust in the devil. And the reason they trust in the devil, or proof of that, is that they're killing, maiming you all the day long, mistreating people, going to another country doing the same thing, and using God to fight wars. Not peace, to fight wars.